This is a week to be prepared and remain grounded. I like to film my Starot talks well in advance to give me ample time to edit and to post on a consistent basis. Because of this, it sometimes takes a second for me to witness how the astrology that I'm speaking to will land. I tend to speak about astrology on a very personal and healing level. It's very etheric and energy based because I work very deeply with the etheric healing realms. But of course, I attempt as much as I can to speak about it from a world stage, interpersonal stage, and reality stage level as well. If I'm ever not discussing something big that is happening in the world, trust me, I plan on it. This is such a week. There's a lot of grief, rage, panic, fear, and anxiety in the air. There's also a lot of conviction, hope, courage, and determination in the air. These energies are intense, and I want to say a very quick, heartfelt prayer for Keith Porter and Renee Good and all of the other immigrants who are no longer on this realm anymore. May your souls be enveloped in love and in peace, traversing through the higher realms now. And may the families of all of these sweet souls be safe and healing and supported. If you have been feeling anxious, panicked, or scared, valid, totally understandable. And I invite you in this moment to ground, take a deep breath, put your feet on the earth, and your hands on your belly or on your heart. Know that you are safe right now. In this moment, right now, you are safe. You are safe. And I wanted to create this space to say that and to send you some semblance of calm and clarity. This week is going to continue to ask us to utilize our nervous system regulating tools. We are in that moment of time. I will continue to share my practice in whatever way is appropriate, and I plan on releasing a meditation if you would be so interested in listening to something that can help you downshift your states of panic or alertness into something more clear and steady. And with that, we can begin to talk about the week ahead. It is a powerful week. It is a week to be in your conviction and to choose something in your reality that really matters to you and devote to it. We start off on Sunday with Mercury making a conjunction to Mars in Capricorn. Mars is exalted in Capricorn. Mars loves being in Capricorn, and it does really, really well here. It is decisive. It is strategic. It acts at perfect timing. It's not too aggressive. It's not too hot-headed, but it's not idle. And it's not submissive by any means. When Mercury holds up the microphone to Mars in Capricorn, we receive messages, communications, and ideas that hold this energy of decisive, inspired action that is clear and spearheading forward. This can be a day of combative conversations, especially with a system or an authority figure. On a personal level, you could just be feeling very clear about what it is that you need to do, what needs to get done, and how you're going to get there. If you were with me last week, then you know that I've spoken already about this new moon in Capricorn, and I will share about it here again. It's happening at 28 degrees, the last final degrees of Capricorn, and this lunation is one that wants you to plant your seeds, wants you to get very serious about the thing that you want to nurture and see grow into the future. Whether that be a project, joining a cause, learning a thing, committing to a relationship with another, with yourself, a plan for the future, something that is long lasting and that requires your commitment and devotion to see it through. It is going to absolutely be influenced by our dreams for our life and for the future and the world at large. And it's something that we cannot ignore any longer. While this lunation is happening, Mercury will do a few other things. Mercury is going to sextile Saturn in Pisces, and it's going to trine Uranus in Taurus, which makes for unpredictable energy in our communications from systems of authority or structures or governmental bodies. Whatever information comes through on this day, I want you to be as connected as possible to your tools and your resources to ground. If you have to turn off your phone and clean your house and light some incense, that's exactly what I want you to do. If you have to get on a phone call with your favorite person and talk about how you are going to take care of yourself this week, that's what I want you to do. If you need to put on the news and journal about how you're feeling as you're listening to it, that's what I want you to do. Do what you feel you need to do to stay steady and grounded. Some people really benefit from one thing and some other people benefit from another thing. It's going to look different from person to person. I personally like to connect to what is happening and then disconnect entirely to regulate my body. It's not about being plugged in entirely at all times, and it's not about being unplugged entirely and disconnected at all times. You have to find your balance. It's going to look different for everybody, and what's appropriate for one person might not be appropriate for another person. So I want you to really take that into consideration here. It's getting a bit dark, so I'm going to turn on the lights. That's a lot better. So this Sunday, if you have the ability to carve some extra time for yourself, please do it. You have the ability to nourish your body and your space, please do it. And if you feel limited in your ability to do that, forgive yourself. Do what you can. I really want to emphasize that message. And if there's a thought that says otherwise, great, consider it. Adopt the information that you need to for what's relevant for your reality. And I still want to challenge you to say, okay, sure, maybe I have XYZ responsibility. How can I still carve time for myself? I promise you that you can, and you should. You deserve it. On Monday the 19th, we have the Sun in Capricorn making a sextile to Neptune in Pisces. It's about to go into Aquarius, but right before it does, we have a moment of connection to what we are feeling particularly idealistic and hopeful for the future, what our dreams are, what our fantasies are. And we can become really clear on what is too much in fantasy and what needs to be grounded into reality. There's something that you're wanting to bring forward into your life. Yes, you need inspiration, you need the etheric, you need the vision, and it needs to be practical for it to materialize. So this might be a day where you get a little bit of insight and illumination into what is super fantasy based and how can I make this more tangible for me to work towards in bringing it into my life. This can also be a moment where we are shining a light on what sources of healing exist for us in our reality at this time. What brings you healing energy? Neptune in Pisces is extremely compassionate, empathetic, and there's a lot of that energy right now at this time that is bringing a lot of people together amidst moments of chaos and injustice. And so this can also be a signature for that, where you notice communities may be coming together even more with these emotional undertones of wanting better for each other, moving out of this hyper individualistic mentality into one that is of care for our neighbors, not just on this land either, but on a world stage level, not just within our own human species, but for the animal kingdoms and the plant kingdoms and all of life. And then the sun moves into Aquarius, and that is all about the people, all about being on the leading edge of consciousness and then daring to push even further. That's why Aquarius is the rebel, the alien, otherworldly like sign. Aquarius has the capacity to see beyond a boundary and then decide to move past it. It is a revolutionary sign. And with the sun here, you can expect a lot of these themes to become more important in our day-to-day. Venus in Aquarius will then conjoin Pluto in Aquarius. And this might be extremely relevant for women and the queer community. Something in regards to women or queer community could take a spotlight in a power imbalance or in pushing us to excavate something dark or hidden within our subconscious or in our society that needs to come to light. Now that the sun has joined Aquario, there will be a lot of things coming to light. And Pluto is the underworld. Pluto wants us to excavate for the hidden thing that is a thorn on our side so that we can heal and liberate ourselves. Pluto reveals power imbalances and obsession and manipulation. And so Venus making a conjunction here takes all of those themes and concentrates them through the energy of women, queer folk, trans people, beauty, love, money, finances, those Venus signifiers. So there is something of a power imbalance absolutely being highlighted here that is propelling us forward in shifting that power imbalance towards looking at something dead in the face and allowing ourselves to feel the fear and then push forward anyway. On a personal level, you may just find that you are connecting with the themes of relationships, finances, love, and beauty and money on a more powerful level. You might be really taking some of these things into consideration under a new light. And it's not a bad moment for you to consider the other chess pieces around, aka not just within your immediate reality, but how it's affecting everyone. Because again, Aquarius is the people. Uranus will then become a little bit center stage here. Saturn in Pisces is going to sextile Uranus, and then Mars in Capricorn is going to make a trine to Uranus. And we have two malefics here combining with one of the most unpredictable planets, if not the most unpredictable, most chaotic, surprising planet, which is Uranus. And sextiles and trines make the energy really easy to move. Expect disruptions. Expect the possibility of combativeness or aggressiveness in regards to boundaries being tested, in regards to authorities or systems pushing for a major change, something that is an escalation. This can show up in any kind of way depending on how it falls on your chart. On a world stage level, it's looking like the energies are continuing to feel erratic, surprising, shocking even. All the more reason to ground, all the more reason to regulate your nervous system, all the more reason to check in with yourself and with your loved ones consistently. Because I would love to sit here and say there could be a major change in the way that systems and authorities are taking action. Something really surprising to everybody will take place that will just absolutely change the direction that we're heading on. Because it's Uranus, that's still a possibility, but I also want to inject a little bit more of a balance in my delineations here because I don't want to offer delineations that are only positive. I want to offer delineations that might be a bit more challenging because my job as an astrologer is to help you be prepared, and that is going to happen best when I give a full picture of what some possible manifestations for these transits will be. On Tuesday the 20th, Mars in Capricorn is going to make a sextile to Saturn in Pisces. There's going to be continued strategic action towards systems or authority figures in place. This can manifest as you personally having a strong conviction about how you want to move forward to better the systems in your life or better the boundaries that you have with others at this time or with yourself in your own day-to-day. This can look like decisive actions happening on a governmental level. This can also look like possible productive ways of coming to an agreement on how to proceed forward. Mercury in Capricorn is then going to make a sextile to Neptune in Pisces, that same sextile that the Sun made before joining Aquario. So we are revisiting our visions and what we feel idealistic for the future. We are revisiting these themes of compassion towards others amidst systems in place or authority figures in place. And we are utilizing our voice more than ever to share the message of unity for healing, not just for ourselves, but for others, and embedding that into our day-to-day routines, our day-to-day systems to help us feel more resilient. Our voice is powerful. In whatever capacity you use to use it, it is an instrument. So tune it wisely. And then Mercury goes into Aquario. Mercury in Aquario will hold the microphone up to everything that Aquario wants to share with us right now. Revolution for a collective that is on a higher consciousness. Sun, Venus, and Pluto are here. So Mercury will absolutely deliver messages and create space for conversations to happen on the themes of power, power imbalances, women, queer folk, finances, leaders, leadership, and identity. You might find yourself having more conversations around what needs to come together, how we can organize, and what is revolutionary in and of itself. Choosing to remain calm and regulated is revolutionary. What do you consider revolutionary? And these might be conversations that you are having with yourself, with your guides, with others, with community, or that you see and hear about on a world stage level. Especially because on Wednesday the 21st, Mercury is going to conjoin the Sun. We will gain clarity about what it is that wants to be birthed right now. There will be plenty abundant conversation around what it takes to rebuild our systems, if not completely demolish the old ones and construct a new one, which I think is the direction we're going in. It is a moment where our ideas are just branching out into places that have not branched out to before. Whether this is on a personal project or on a collective level, we are finding that we are traversing past any self-imposed boundaries or limitations and allowing ourselves to explore beyond that and to channel this energy of openness and receptivity for the unknown. And from that place to bring in something new, something helpful, something that is innovative and inspiring. On Thursday the 22nd, Mercury makes a conjunction to Pluto, and we continue in these themes of the Kazimi, and they are catapulting us into the depths of our subconscious, something that we weren't aware we were running as a program in our day-to-day comes to light. Maybe you've had this self-imposed restricting belief about yourself in your life that you become aware of, and you're like, holy shit, I didn't realize I was holding myself back so much. Something about a manipulation or a power imbalance from the external world could really come to light at this time as well, especially pertaining to a leader or leadership, because Sun is involved here as well. That could be something that comes your way, something that is on the news. So this week so far could be really groundbreaking and really destabilizing on that level of what we thought we knew and the information that is surfacing and something coming to light. On Friday, the 23rd, Mars is going to make a sextile to Neptune in Pisces. Mars is still in Capricorn. We are still in this very focused, pragmatic, decisive energy. And with a sextile to Neptune in Pisces, we might be moving from a sense of compassion and heightened hope and idealism, but we're moving towards our dreams and our visions for the future. And Mars is about to go into Aquarius, where its tone will shift entirely. But in this sextile that it's making to Neptune, which the Sun has made, which Mercury has made, I'm going to delineate this as, what are your dreams for the earth that you want to see? What are your dreams for the future that you want to live and your descendants to live? What does healthy community look like? Is it there yet? What needs work? How can you take these visions and move from that place? Especially as Mars enters Aquarius, where it deals more with community. How can we work with each other to bring this afoot? Because it's possible, it's already happening. And the more that we can visualize it and channel our dreams and our visions of beauty and healing from our imagination into this world, the better, the stronger, the more powerful. And yeah, then Mars goes into Aquarius, where it is all about action for revolution. Action for what is leading edge, action for what is for the people, aggression as well. We are aggressively devoted to these things in a way that no longer feels like an option or like it's possible to ignore, on a level that it moves you. It is like a wave of energy. We are propelled in it. Mars in Aquarius moves forward in unconventional ways. It is still ruled by Saturn. It is no longer in its exaltation, and it's going to be a little bit wonky. It's an air sign. Mars in air signs, it's not always at its element, but I think that will probably be a good thing. We don't want a super debilitated Mars. We don't really want a super powerful Mars at this time either. But this could also be something in relation to technology. I haven't mentioned that at all yet, but Aquarius has a lot to do with tech, technology, AI. So something about these realms in our reality could also be playing a major factor at this time. You may just find that you are advancing or spearheading towards something in the technological field. Last but not least, the Sun is going to make a conjunction to Pluto. Something old, a toxic system, is dying. It's been dying for a while now, but because the Sun rules leaders and leaderships, and Pluto is death and power and control and manipulation, there is an element of something here going away. Even if it's behind the scenes, which with Pluto, it's very likely that it is behind the scenes. There might be a moment where someone in your life, whether you are the leader or your identity or someone on the external world, is reckoning with one of these Plutonian themes. This can look a variety of different ways. And so I would just encourage you to pay attention to what is surfacing on this day, what is surfacing at this time, both for yourself and for others, and on a world stage level if you feel so inclined. Not so that you can freak out about it, not so that you get swept up in it, but because something important that is being illuminated for our advancement forward, for the rebalancing of power. We are on this trajectory, it's happening, and I am a firm believer that everything happens for a good reason. I'm a firm believer that we are on a consistent, gradual upswing towards a very high consciousness that is connected with the earth and with the animals and with life and with the cosmos. There's no stopping our trajectory towards continuously leveling up our consciousness, and anything that wants consciousness to remain low or uninformed or suppressed, it's not going to be able to follow. It cannot keep up. There's no slowing down the momentum that we're on as humans. And so I share that to say that if you're feeling hopeless, if you're feeling scared or panicked, that's real and that's valid. And I wholeheartedly believe that we are headed towards a really different kind of future, something different than anything we've ever had on this planet, one that is filled with liberation, filled with justice, filled with something new. And sometimes to get to that place, it's really, really dark. It's really bumpy. But how else does that change happen? It has to. And so ground, regulate, stay prepared so you don't have to get prepared. Connect with your loved ones. Pray if you so resonate with that. Ground, journal, laugh. That is revolutionary. Be in your body. That is revolutionary. Living in a day and age that wants you to be so out of body, being in your body is an act of revolution. It is an act of being radical. Practice radical love for yourself and for others. Radical acceptance, radical surrender, and radical conviction and radical power in how you show up in your day-to-day. We can't control everything. We can only control what we can control. Identify that. Identify what that is and focus on that and know that you are safe. I've pulled a card to see what it is that we most need to know for this week. And we've got Two of Swords. And the Two of Swords encourages us to liberate our mind. What are we protecting ourselves from mentally? Usually, we develop certain survival skills when we are children to help us in a certain traumatic situation. And we never remove those patterns or those ways of thinking or those ways of acting because we just never thought to. Maybe when you were a child, you learned that you should stay silent in order for you to not get in trouble. But you are in a much better place now. And you don't need to do that anymore. You can use your voice and it is safe to use your voice. Swords are communication. Swords are your voice. Swords are your thoughts. How are you speaking as well? How are you speaking your life into existence? Our words are very powerful. Are you blocking your own blessings? Are you blocking your own expansion? Do you limit yourself and say things like, oh, that would never happen, or, oh, I hope this happens one day, when you could change it to, this is happening. I am doing this. I am working in this field. I am moving to this place. I am in this dynamic with money or with a person or with myself. With the water in the background and the moon in the background, it's very apt. We are coming off of this Capricorn new moon. Our emotions are very tied to the way that we think about things, to the way in which we have built up our belief systems about the world. And so the Two of Swords challenges you to say, hey, are you seeing things clearly? Maybe you're seeing things through a certain fabric or a certain lens, and it's not the whole story. Are you ready to take that bandage off so that you can see the full picture and really expand your belief system, expand the way that you think, and whatever belief systems you have had that you feel really emotionally tied to, why are you so emotionally tied to them? Is that still appropriate? Is that limiting your expansion? Is that limiting your capacity to show up in your most highest, most actualized self? The Two of Swords also is a card that feels very protective. So this could be a card that is encouraging you to affirm your boundaries at this time. There might be an overwhelm of emotion that you're feeling right now, and you don't want to absorb more communications than you need to. And for your sake, you need to rest. You need to close your eyes and you need to connect to your inner realm to think clearly and to feel clearly. So this card can also be a signifier for going within when there is already so much information around. Knowing how much information to take in is a skill, and knowing how to digest and properly sit with information is an even greater skill. And then learning how to alchemize emotions and information into your energetic body and to move forward from a place that is most updated is also a skill. So honor your boundaries, say no if you need to say no to something this week, and really nurture your inner landscape, nurture your emotional state, and whatever interpretation lands best for you, whether this card is about observing what your belief systems are and where you're blocking yourself, or if it's more about protecting your boundaries and protecting your inner temple and your inner landscape. Whatever which way this might land, the theme is undoubtedly communications, thoughts, ideas, beliefs, and we're going into Aquarius season, and the swords are communications. So this could be a theme for the rest of Aquarius season, and you don't have to figure it out all at once. Know that this might continue to come up for you at this time, and it's something that we're all learning together. I hope that that's been helpful. Thank you for witnessing this Starot talk go from sunlight to moonlight. I hope that you are safe. I hope that you are feeling a lot more calm and grounded by the end of this Starot talk. I know I talked a lot about some of these heavier transits that are unpredictable with this Uranus energy, which are a little bit more serious and demand our attention. And I encourage you to enter this week with a sense of radical optimism, radical hope, and a radical tenderness for yourself and for others. Thank you so much for spending time with me. If you want to do a one-on-one session or a consultation, please visit aurisolaris.net. I would love to connect with you. And until then, I'm sending you so much love, so much magic, so much safety. Please take care. Cuídense.